Hello everyone, Marin here. I am back with a new autumn card showcasing You Crow Girl and a bunch of fall images. And I am going to color on Kraft cardstock. It's something I like to do all year long, especially during the fall season, because it emphasizes this whole autumn vibe and really suits a sweet, cozy and warm atmosphere. So to make this card, I am going to use the scarecrow, flower and cloth details from You Crow Girl, the grass from Extraordinary Easter, the acorn from Let's Go Nuts, the leaves from Jump for Joy, the scarecrow, sunflowers, pumpkins and crows from Happy Harvest, a greeting from Thanks, Thanks, Thanks. We have the stitched pumpkin frame dies and the outside-in stitched pumpkin dies, the bow from Cute Candy Cane, a heart from Hearts and Stars skinny tag, the giant outline thanks dies, and the smallest everyday sentiment banner die. I am going to use my Ohuhu alcohol markers to color everything, and I am starting with this cute sunflower. So I stamped all my images on Kraft cardstock using jet black ink. This FAWN Kraft cardstock works perfectly with alcohol markers. They blend beautifully on the paper. You will see that first the colors are a little bit blurry and are still quite dark, but as the inks dry and soak into the paper, the colors become brighter and really pop on the cardstock. I like the effect, it brings some kind of a vintage look to a card, it's super cute. Next, I cut a few things out of colored cardstock, the leaves and swirling things from algae cardstock, but I ended up not using the swirling things, the stem from paper bag cardstock, and the bow from a falling leaves paper. And I am using these tracings to make those pieces a little bit more interesting. For the pumpkin, I cut the stitched frame out of canned pumpkin cardstock, and I added a little bit of distress ink on the edges as well. Next, I worked on my giant outlined things. I cut the back piece out of paper bag cardstock, the outline piece out of light brown wood grain cardstock, and out of textured beige cardstock. I am going to glue the wood grain outline on the back piece, and then I will tuck and stick the beige letters to complete my word. Now it's time to assemble everything on my card base. For this card base, I cut a scalloped slimline panel out of a 12 by 12 falling leaves paper that I attached to a large slimline wood grain panel and then onto a card base. I cut the back of my pumpkin out of another falling leaves paper, stuck the pumpkin frame on top, and then assembled the pumpkin right in the middle of my panel. And then I will attach my images on both sides of the pumpkin using 1 mm and 2 mm foam squares. So I am attaching the remaining things, the giant outline thanks right on top of the pumpkin using liquid glue, and finally the little crow perched on the letter K. The last thing to do is to complete the greeting. I am treating my piece of chocolate bar cardstock with powder. This will help the embossing powder stick to the ink only. I am stamping for all you do using clear embossing ink. I am going to sprinkle white embossing powder on the ink and then melt and heat set the powder using my heat tool. I cut the phrase using the smallest everyday sentiment banner die, and I am going to stick it right below the giant thanks using foam squares. And that's it. This is the final card, and I hope that you like it. Thank you so much for stopping by and for watching this video. Have a lovely day and see you next time. Bye.